Morgan.
Well, Reverend Gabriele Amorth made headlines around the world recently when he said the devil was present in the Vatican.
You're talking about something very real, aren't you?
Certo, realissima. E dico, se credete al Vangelo, credete all'esistenza del demonio.
Absolutely, very real.
As to the devil's presence in the Vatican, he says that's no surprise. He once had to perform an exorcism on another exorcist.
The first thing we need to do if we're going to find out if the devil is at the Vatican is take a tour underneath the Vatican. Here we have a clear depiction of Lucifer underneath the Vatican at St. Peter's Basilica. Now we know that they'll go on and say, oh, well, we're saving it because it's a UNESCO heritage site or something like that. This is always their excuse, saving it for the sake of art. But for the true Christian, this is not an excuse, because we know if you're giving glory and propaganda to false deities and false pagan gods, what are you doing? You're in essence supporting the evil spiritual realm. This cannot be from God. And since Rome claims itself to be the one true church, you would think they would lead by example. But what kind of example is this? That you have a depiction of Lucifer underneath the Vatican? And so again we ask ourselves, why are they keeping this depiction of Lucifer underneath the Vatican? But we ask the question, why would you want to follow a pope who has all these evil things underneath his church? It's very clear by this depiction of Lucifer that the devil is in the Vatican. He's hidden way down underneath the Vatican at St. Peter's Basilica. And also imagine what kind of things are done down there underneath the Vatican in secret when people aren't looking.
Pope Francis kissing the hand of the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, the world global elite. The world elite is satanic. The world elite is completely satanic. They want to control the world. They want to control the world's money. They want to control the world's governments, and they want to control the world's people. So Pope Francis getting caught in this private meeting, kissing the hands of the Illuminati elite, is something in of itself just crazy. I mean, we're already dealing with craziness in the world as it is, and then for Pope Francis to keep doing these things just shows us that the world is about to get really, really strange.
This is a shocker to a lot of people. Yeah. There are satanic practices going on at the Vatican. Could that be true?
Yes. Freemasonry plays a very important part in how the church has got into its present mess. Humanly speaking, the situation is hopeless. The Lord God has allowed it to get out of control. It's a punishment. A lot of people today don't want the truth. They like their slush and their mush and their lies. It's a punishment. These churchmen want to become Freemasons. They're then the wave of the future. They're on the winning side instead of being on the losing side.
Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil has come down to you in great wrath, because he knows that his time is short.
If you take this old-fashioned view of Catholicism like we're taking, we're absolute losers. We've lost. It's hopeless. The future is dark, humanly speaking, dark, dark, dark. There is no hope virtually. The Masons have won, the bad guys are in control, and there's no future.
When we are successful, and we will be,
there is a clear clash, a clear and head-on clash.
The current Pope runs the pedophile rings that took over the Catholic Church. I mean, the current Pope is a giant satanic demon who wants world government and says Europe shouldn't be Christian. I mean, this is dangerous. Bishops should not have to report child abuse, Vatican says.
Therefore my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure, and their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoiceth shall descend into it.
And he that rejoiceth shall descend down into it.
That put darkness for light, and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter.
All roads lead to Rome. There's so many changes that are happening, particularly under Pope Francis. Vision within the Catholic Church itself, the conservative Catholics are not happy with what Pope Francis is doing either.
I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains, on which the woman sitteth.
Naše snožnosti se vdal šepimi, jer somme.
Pope Francis is not a holy man whatsoever, and what he states should leave every one of you out there that ever thought he was a holy man knowing better. He is saying that a personal relationship with Jesus is dangerous, and that you cannot seek Jesus alone, that you have to do it through mediation with the church. He goes on to state that you cannot do it. There's no such thing as a do-it-yourself Christian or a free agent. Can you believe it? This man's saying this. This man is anti-Christ, against the Christ. He is all about this satanic synagogue that they have created, full of pedophiles and whatnot. This is proof when this man speaks this blasphemy.
He encouraged people to see Jesus as a man who still prays for us.
Bergoglio themselves, according to this thing called the Ninth Circle, which is apparently a child sacrificial cult operating within the Vatican and has for several centuries, and other information related to how this global child trafficking is continuing very much through the Catholic Church and its various agencies. And so it's been not only an amazing time for this stuff to come out, but in response, we've had an increasing number of people come forward. Here in Spain, I've been meeting with two different groups who have been leading a campaign here on behalf of the over 300,000 people who, as children, were trafficked by the Catholic Church here in Spain, where literally the children were stolen by priests and nuns. Their parents were told they had died, and then they were trafficked for between $60,000 and $80,000 each. We estimate the Vatican made over $20 billion over the last 50 years here in Spain alone through this illegal child trafficking. According to not just eyewitnesses who were at these ritual cult murders of children, who saw Bergoglio there, but basically this magisterial privilege, according to documents, is that every pope was being expected, as part of his initiation, to be engaged in these child sacrificial cults, which involve the ritual slaying of newborn children or young children and drinking of their blood, because it invokes a certain spiritual power and control over the human race to do this, according to their sick thinking. And this is something that Bergoglio himself was involved in, according to these two women.
Prophecy says that the Antichrist and the false prophet will be working together. We see that in Revelation chapter 19, verse 20. It says Pope Francis boosts Obama, Clinton, Kerry, and Gore on climate change. June 18, 2015, the papal encyclical released today offers powerful validation and support to the lifetime body of work to protect the environment and combat the dangers of global warming from leading Democrats such as President Barack Obama.
Undoubtedly, they broke with all of Catholic history when they put a Jesuit in 2 years ago. That's against canon law. You can't have the Jesuits, who are the police of the Catholic Church, ever becoming a pope, because they would use it as a coup d'etat. Just like Caesar couldn't bring his troops into Rome because obviously he would make himself a dictator. It's very simple. It's why we have posse comitatus. So these are facts you can't deny. That A, he's a Jesuit, the new pope. The answer, a world government to it, with the new pope now calling for a one world religion to bring everyone together. I mean, either the Bible's coming true, Revelations and Daniel and all the rest of it, and Ezekiel, and what Christ said, or they're using it as a playbook.
Is virtually guaranteed to be the worst fire season in history.